Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel where we talk about soccer, but we also talk about wags. And today, that's what we're talking about. Wags of the Euros. Wives and girlfriends.
But also, there's a lot going on in the group stage. Group stage today is Group C, and then tomorrow is Group D. I think we'll just do a wrap-up of all the groups on Monday. I think that's going to be the plan. Also, Tobin Heath announced her official retirement.
Sad, but I mean, we all knew it was coming.
Yeah, but she made, as I like to say, pen to paper, officially retired. So we're going to talk about that too. We're not going to talk about that on this video. We're also not going to talk about the groups. We are going to find like a final wrap up of the groups on probably Monday. So look out for that. But some exciting things have gone on. We're going to talk about it. Swiss qualified. So pumped for them. But we're going to start with the WAGs because there is, we did a video, the first video we talked about couples of the Euros, and we kind of focused on the couples that were going to be playing against each other. But in this video, we're going to talk about just a few couples that have girlfriends or wives that aren't playing against each other, but we still wanted to talk about. There's a few of these couples I might do like longer form videos on, but I wanted to include them here. And also, we might do we're going to do another video after this because I didn't want to put too many couples in this video. I think we're going to start with some of the couples who are going to who will probably get grouped. So, because we have to talk about them before they officially get grouped. Do you get what I'm saying?
That's true. Time is of the essence.
Then I think we're going to do another video that maybe focuses on players who might last till the semis or the end. So maybe the English, Spanish, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. But the first couple we're going to talk about is one of our favorites. We're not going to talk too much about them because we've talked so much about them. But one of our favorites, the newly married DVD and Ellie Carpenter, and not just newly married, DVD dropped the hyphenated jersey on Instagram that we all thought she was going to wear for the tournament. But we found out she officially did not wear it to the tournament, the hyphenated jersey. And we found out that Ellie, actually, it was a special one made for Ellie to wear. So that was kind of the big news there. We thought she was going to be hyphenated for the tournament, and she was not. But yeah, that would have been pretty cool to see that long name on the field. And then we saw Ellie wearing it at the games. And also, I'm going to include the pictures of them together at the games. But then DVD did a interview in Dutch. I saw it on TikTok, and then they were talking about the jersey, and they said, well, what happened? Why didn't you wear what made you choose not to wear the jersey? And I'll read this just because it's more concise.
So somebody translated this, and this is what she said. She says she thought about changing it for the tournament. She says she really likes having the shirt, and it is very beautiful. She may change it in the future. She and Ellie, weren't sure if it would be too long for the shirt, but it fits. Yeah, I originally would have thought that there's no way that all is fitting on a jersey, but apparently it does fit.
And it would have been, but she stuck with Vondi Donk. Newlyweds, there to support her wife. Unfortunately, depending on what happens tomorrow, her wife will probably get grouped. Maybe not, but maybe.
Wait, DVD. Vaughn. It's actually DVDD. Oh my God, we've been saying her name wrong this whole time, everyone.
Yeah, I think this is the way we say it in Netherlands.
It's DVDD. It's not DVD.
Yeah, that's funny how that works out. Unfortunately, she'll probably get grouped tomorrow, but the time there they've had is very special.
But I wonder if she legally changed it to the hyphen Carpenter, or if it's just a thing she did, for Ellie. But I don't know. I'm kind of guessing they probably legally she changed it. But I don't know.
Maybe for London City, she'll have a hyphenated jersey because we'll see. Maybe not. Maybe Michelle King can't afford all the letters yet for the newly promoted team.
Oh, she can afford a billion letters.
Yeah. I knew you were going to say that. So very happy to see them. Great to see them. We knew we were going to see Ellie, but I'm sad that DVD, this is probably her last major tournament, maybe, and they went out so early. But now we're going to move on to another Netherlands player. We have a few actually we're going to talk about. And this player we've talked about in the past, but recently has launched in the last 5 months with
The last 5 minutes, Sarah says. They launched in the last 5 minutes. Wow, this is breaking news. We're the first on this. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. But they launched, I don't know, over probably around the new year. And that is Jill Roord and field hockey superstar Pien Sanders. And this story is kind of one of those crazy stories where love is love and people find each other. Because remember, we talked about Jill. Well, first of all, Jill has really hot girlfriends. So she really does. She's a ladies' woman. But she was with Jana Fernandez. And it looked, they were kind of low key, but they were long distance. So they didn't post too much, but they were together. Then about 9 months ago, it looked like they had kind of broken up and did things maybe 10 months ago. And then Jill and Pien launched. But this is where it kind of, I don't know, these are kind of the headlines. Apparently, Pien was with her boyfriend of 10 years. And then at some point, Pien was friends with Jill because people said that Jill had been liking her things on Instagram for a while. And at some point, Pien told her boyfriend, it's not going to work out and I'm exploring other things. And that's the headline. She left her boyfriend and now she's with Jill. I mean, that's the headline.
I will say, women look much better with another woman on their arm.
Can confirm, and yes. But I'll read the headline.
Did hockey player Pien Sanders leave her boyfriend for this football player? Hockey couple Pien Sanders and Thies Van Dam, Mr. Van Dam, recently announced their split after 10 years. Now, less than a month later, Pien is reportedly already in love. Did Pien leave her boyfriend for this soccer star? Pien ended her relationship with Thies last December. Okay, Pien has decided to go a different way without me, and I have to respect that, no matter how difficult it is. He recently told the AD newspaper, fortunately, there's still a lot of respect between us, but of course this makes 2024 a very difficult ending. But according to Juice Channel, Pien has already found a new love in her life less than a month later. According to sources, Jill Roord is Pien's new love, and this has also been confirmed by those close to her, the channel wrote on Instagram.
Okay, so that's the headline about her boyfriend breaking up. It looks like he had a public announcement saying, hey, she decided to go a different way. 10 years is a very long time. He's also a hockey player in the Netherlands. And what somebody told me, hockey players in Netherlands for women and male are like the superstars of Netherlands. It's like basketball, football here in the States, or soccer around the world. It's like that's what everyone looks up to. And actually, I was going to say that I've said this story before. I remember the 2008 Olympics, or maybe it was the 12. I think it was the 8 Olympics. I remember watching the women's field hockey team, and it was like, coming out was becoming like a big story. Like people were becoming more open with it. And they were talking about the Dutch field hockey team saying, yeah, like 9 of their players are out lesbian or out LGBT. And I was like, what? And they're like, it's the gayest team at the Olympics. Like 8 or 12 or half the team. No. Pien wasn't with a woman before this, but that just goes to show
the influence that she's been around. I'm just joking.
But I did think that was interesting about the field hockey team. But apparently they're big stars over there. But this article was written about 6 months ago, and but Pien and Jill are definitely together. It also said in this article that Jill is still that when this article was written that Jill was with Manchester City, but that actually has changed. She actually has just signed with a Dutch team in the Netherlands. And some people think it's because she wants to be closer to Pien, because a lot of her relationships, Jill's relationships in the past, had been long distance. Some of them haven't, but some of them had. And maybe she just said, hey, maybe she didn't like the direction of Manchester City. I don't know. I'm making that up. But maybe she just wanted to be closer to Pien, and this is serious. And she goes, why not go there, be near someone who I love, who loves me? We can go to each other's matches. It's easier. So I think it's very cool if she's gone there. And people might be like, oh, you're going down a league for your love. But even if she were, who cares?
Because love is love. That's what's up.
But they've posted a bunch of cute TikToks on Instagram. I mean, they're definitely together. Jill was trying Pien's matcha, and they're like, oh, it's so sweet. And they rated some of the Euros players together. I'll put those in the back. Some of those, I'll keep playing the TikToks in the back. But Pien is also there at the Euros supporting Jill. Unfortunately, again, like DVD and Ellie, it looks like Netherlands are going to get grouped. But also, Pien had this comment, and it said,
"It's getting a bit too much for Pien Sanders about her new love, Jill Roord. Looking forward to the time when the attention on us fades."
So yeah, so right there she says, maybe she likes it, but maybe it's nice once, it's kind of the attention is kind of muted a little bit so they can just enjoy each other. So I thought that was really cute. Big news. That's big news. Field hockey is so major in the Netherlands, and for Pien to have a boyfriend for 10 years and then saying, hey, I found Jill and I like Jill, and I don't know. I think it is a little scandalous, but in like the best way. Okay. So we'll stay with the Dutch, because there's one other couple on the Dutch that we've never kind of talked about. And I do actually want to do a longer form video on this couple. But I was thinking that in my notes. You know how we called Beth Mead and Viv the Euro couple because they found love in the Euros and they both won the Euros? I'm calling this next couple the TikTok couple because they are Mrs. and Mrs. TikTok. And who are we talking about? We're actually talking about Kerstin Casparij and her non-football girlfriend, Ruth Brown. This is Mrs. and Mrs. TikTok because I wasn't quite aware of Kerstin. I had known kind of about Kerstin. It's one of those faces you see. But about 10 months ago, her and Ruth really started popping up on my FYP on TikTok. Like, there was this thing where Ruth was trying to find my girlfriend's card in the WSL packs, like the cards they have. And that was kind of her thing. And I kept getting those. And then so I've obviously started watching their TikToks and their content. But so they're really big on TikTok. Kerstin doesn't post too much, but Ruth loves TikTok, posts a lot, and Kerstin loves doing TikToks with Ruth. They have cats together, and Ruth is one of those she's not a footballer, so she has a regular 9-to-5 job, so that's always kind of fun, especially to me. When I first started watching this couple, this is one of the first really Gen Z couples that I see. I'm like, this is Gen Z right here. You know what I mean? And I loved it. Okay, but this is the thing. I actually don't know if Ruth is Gen Z. I'm assuming she is because they did this TikTok where Kerstin talked about saying, there's a meme that goes around and says, oh, did you guys go to high school together? And she goes, no, she's quite a bit older than me. It's like a sound that they use. And then I saw another TikTok that said Ruth was 35, but I don't think she was actually 35. So I think she's a little older than Kerstin, but I don't think she's 35, but maybe a few years older. But so to me, they're like one of the very first Gen Z couples. I'm like, okay, this couple is resonating with really young people. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah. And
they bought a house together in Manchester. Kerstin plays for Manchester City. This is what's kind of crazy. The last, couple weeks, Kerstin and Ruth started promoting a company, which I thought this is the cutest thing. They started promoting Tinder because that is where they met 2 years ago, on Tinder. Now they're like spokespeople for Tinder. And so they did a recreation of their first date for a Tinder ad. And I just think that's so cute. So fun. And they're just so fun. You know what I mean? They're just a really fun young couple. Kind of has that young energy.
What was their first date?
They went out to eat or something. I watched the video. And then they wanted to kiss or something. I'll have to watch it again. I did not study it too much.
That's relatable. Eating and kissing.
Yeah, I know. I'll have to watch it again. But super cute. And also, Kerstin is the queen of captions. She has the funniest captions on her Instagram. She's famous for her captions. She goes, they played Italy and they didn't win. And the caption was, we couldn't get pasta Italy.
Okay, I get it. It's a pun.
Yes, pun. Oh, we have a pun king in our comment section. I bet he loves these puns. But she does puns. She just has really fun in the captions. Also, she's also very famous for swearing and getting fines. Because you're not supposed to swear, you know.
That's kind of iconic.
But super cute. I'll keep posting their pictures. We might do a longer video on them. But to me, they're Gen Z. They're fun. And also, Kerstin actually had a very viral moment about 2-3 months ago where she had, I believe, like the trans pride wristband, and her message was protecting trans individuals, especially the trans women who've been affected in the WSL or in soccer in general. And in today's climate, there isn't, I feel like not as many people, I think more people are scared to speak out. I don't know, but the fact that she was brave to make it public, I think that's really special, that she said, I don't care if someone has a problem with it, I'm going to say it, I believe it. I thought that was really special.
Hell yeah, I really freaking like her.
Yeah.
Icon.
You know, fearless. Kerstin just seems fearless, so. But Ruth has been there supporting Kerstin, and I think she even did like a TikTok saying she had gone there to support her, and then she had to come home to go back to work, which kind of sucks because I'm sure she wanted to stay the whole time, but she's been there and so pumped for them. But do you guys follow Kerstin? Do you follow Ruth? Do you follow their TikTok? Very, very cool. And if Kerstin is part of the football future, I'm very excited because having someone outspoken like that and also someone fearless, it's very cool. Then the next couple we're going to talk about is, actually, we'll talk about another team I think is going to get grouped, which is Wales. As much as they're going to get grouped and as much as they had kind of a tough tournament, you know, the game where Jess Fishlock scored that goal and they scored first time ever, I mean, that was really special. Maybe they didn't get a win. Maybe they're not even going to get a point out of the tournament, but
that's okay.
Yeah. And obviously, Jess Fishlock's biggest supporter is her wife, Tziarra King. And I love it. Tziarra is so supportive of Jess. And they got married 2 years ago now? I think about 2 years.
2 years? You're joking.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years?
Yeah, that's crazy. I know.
We're just going too fast.
Yeah, maybe a year and a half ago. It was December 12th, I think. But maybe 2 years ago, or maybe just 1 year ago. 1.5 years ago at this point. But like, I always feel like Jess like the Queen of Wales, you know what I mean? She loves Wales so much. Tziarra was obviously in Switzerland supporting Jess. I'll put the pictures, super cute pictures of them hugging after the match, and how much, I believe Tziarra was even interviewed after the Wales game, how much that meant to Jess for that moment. Because Jess, we don't know how long she's going to play, but they played together at Seattle Reign. And Tziarra was, I don't know, dropped from the team, not signed again. So she doesn't play there anymore. And that must have been really, really hard. Because, you know, you were playing with your wife and then you weren't. And then I bet part of Tziarra is like, maybe I could go to a team that's far away, but do I want to go do that? You know what I mean? But it was just revealed in the last 4 or 5 months that Tziarra got an assistant coaching job / a player mentor job in West Seattle for, I don't have the team in front of me, but she is going to be, you know, assistant coach, player mentor for a team. And that's really cool. That means she's going to be staying in Seattle. So I love that. You know, I'm sure she wanted to play. I'm sure in a perfect world, they'd still be playing on Seattle Reign together. But, you know, it doesn't always work out like that.
I was going to say, that kind of sucks that she's not playing anymore.
Yeah,
she's still very young, but that's wild.
Yeah,
I mean, but she's still doing what she loves, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly. So Jess and Tziarra, that is a love story. I still think maybe they'll end up in Wales long term. We've kind of talked about this. I definitely would.
In the climate, in America's climate right now, yeah, we all should. And then the orange-haired monster will take your citizenship away.
Yeah. He's trying to do that to Rosie O'Donnell. It's crazy. But another Welsh couple.
Okay. Angharad James and Emma Turner James.
Yeah.
Is that right? I know they hyphenated.
Yeah, well, that was kind of thing. So they've been married for a few years at this point now, too. And they're married. And one of the things I remember when I was watching the Wales game, Angharad James, she just has her name James on the back of her jersey. It's not hyphenated. And the commenter made a point to say, hey, she's only going by Angharad James in this tournament. So there wasn't any like divorce announcement or anything, but she's just going by that name for this tournament. And so I thought it was funny they had pointed that out, because I think when you see someone who's normally hyphenated, who's not, you kind of, I don't know, get worried. But the commenter said, hey, call me Angharad James. That's what it's going to be for this tournament. But I looked on their Instagram and stuff. They looked very much together. And Amy was in Switzerland. So she was supporting her wife.
Love it.
And also, Amy Turner, she was playing in the last 6 months. She made an announcement on her Instagram saying, hey, she's going through a lot of medical things or personal things. She didn't specify whether it was mental or physical. It's none of our business, but she just said the doctors have said you need to take time away from playing. And that must be really hard. I mean, all these competitive people, sports, it's so hard on your body, your mind, your psyche, everything. And I'm glad they have the support system with each other, especially being married. They've been together a long time. But she's there supporting her wife. And unfortunately, like I said, Wales 1000% will get grouped tomorrow. But they had a very special time in Switzerland. Very cool. Then moving on to another team, a team I don't think is going to make it very far, but they are playing Italy next. So we'll see how that goes. But Norway, we're going to talk about a couple couples from the Norway team. A couple of couples that I wanted to touch on. A couple of couples. And first couple we're going to talk about is Frida Maanum and her girlfriend. I believe you say it. I'm probably going to get this wrong. Emma
Lennartsson, I think. Don't come for me if I'm wrong, okay?
She's Swedish. But they have been together for a while, and they're really cutesy on social media. Frida posts a lot of pictures with her, and Emma posts a lot of pictures with Frida. And we talked about Pien Sanders being with her boyfriend for 10 years and breaking up. This is a kind of a situation like that as well. Emma was with her boyfriend. They were building a house together, and Frida and Emma played at Linköpings, and they became best friends, and then they became best friends, the best friends to lovers pipeline, which we're obsessed with. But that's how they got together. Then they hard launched, and they said, I'll put the picture up, but they said something like, when your best friend becomes your everything. And that was 2022. And then they've been together. Frida moved to Arsenal. And it's just a love story. Obsessed. They're beautiful.
It's a love story, baby. They said yes.
So someone was asking how they got together, and this is what someone said how they got together.
Okay, Emma had a long-term boyfriend. Frida joined Linköping in 2017 when Emma was still with her boyfriend. When you look back at her Instagram, she and Frida were mostly just hanging out together with other teammates at first, then started making more posts about them hanging out one-on-one. They did a Valentine's video for the club in 2020, and Emma's caption is something along the lines of, "Oh, to have you as their friend, LOL." Meanwhile, during this whole time, Emma is still with her boyfriend, has a dog with him, and is actually building a house with him, and had a whole Instagram page about their process of building the house. When Frida moved to Arsenal, a lot of people outside of Norway and Sweden hadn't heard of her, and when I put myself in this group, looked her up, most people assumed that she and Emma were together based on all the coupley photos they had on both their Instas. But then we realized that Emma actually had a boyfriend, and so backed off the speculation. Sometime in the summer of 2021, the boyfriend disappeared from Emma's Instagram. She went to visit Frida play at Arsenal sometime in the fall of 2021, and fans saw them kiss at the match, and she spent most of December in London with Frida. They hard launched on Valentine's Day 2022 with the caption, "When your best friend becomes your everything." I don't know why that feels like a mic drop moment, but that was a lot of reading.
And, we read a lot. I'm not sure how much I'll leave it. Maybe the whole thing. I just think it's beautiful. You know what I mean? When your best friend becomes your everything, that's such a deep love that, I just love it. And very special. They post a lot. Emma actually just announced her retirement from professional football. From what I've read, I think it said like she had played over 250 games at Linköpings, and I don't know if that's where her whole professional career was, but she was the captain there. And also her and Frida do have a bit of an age difference, like 7-8 years, I believe. And that might have been another reason maybe they were hesitant at first to get together, because there is a bit of an age difference, but that's not really a big age difference unless Frida was really young. I don't know. And that's where they met, and very special. And they post a lot, and I've seen Emma there in Switzerland as well post the pictures, really cute, special pictures, and pump for them. Is marriage, or are they close to marriage?
I'm not sure. You'll have to ask them.
But hopefully, because that's very sweet. Okay. Another Norwegian famous love story that I'm surprised her partner was at the Euros was Ingrid, Engen, and Mapi Leon. Of course, they're in love. They're famously in love. They've been together about 4 years now. And also, somebody asked us if we were mad at Mapi about the whole situation. I think what she did was inappropriate and wrong. No, I don't think what she did was the absolute worst thing in the world. I don't think it was good, but I don't think she's actually a bad person. I think she made a mistake. And for some reason, I don't think when you say I'm so sorry, I shouldn't have done that, because we were listening to right after that incident happened. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because we haven't really talked about it since it happened, because she did have to do a couple games suspension. But when it happened, we were listening to a Spanish language talk show that was talking about it. It was 3 women, and the 3 women on that talk show said, hey, she should have apologized, made sure Daniëlle was okay. And then the part where she just said it was a normal football move, which it didn't look like. And then, but someone said, do we matter? We hate her. We just think she made a mistake. And also, somebody was bringing up the fact that if she even says, I'm sorry, then she could get prosecuted if she admits that she's sorry for something, which maybe is a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. I don't know. But someone asked us if we were mad at her. I'm not mad at her. I don't, what she did was bad, but I don't think she's a bad person. But I do think her love story with her and Ingrid is special. They have a very special love, especially for Ingrid to say, hey, going through hard times with someone that you love, when you go through a hard time together, even if your partner is in the wrong, if you know their heart, you know what I mean? And a lot of people said they didn't know if they were going to see Mapi at the Euros because of, she's playing against, Spain is there. A lot of Mapi's friends on the Spanish team. Awkwardness. Mapi was still one of the people who said, I don't believe in what happened. I'm not going to be here. And it is awkward. Not really awkward with the players because she plays at Barcelona, so she plays with a lot of the national team players. More awkward if she were to run into the federation or the management or the higher ups. It would be awkward or uncomfortable with them. But Mapi said, I'm still going to go support the love of my life, wear an Ingrid Engen jersey, show how much I love her. And I think that's really special, to put kind of an awkwardness aside to say, hey, I don't know what's going on over there, but I know what I have, the love I have with my partner.
Yeah, you got to respect that.
Yeah, I do. So she was there. So Ingrid just left Barcelona and she signed with Lyon. So does that mean Mapi's going to leave Barcelona as well? For some reason, I heard that she was and she wasn't. So we'll see what happens there. But so that's definitely going on as well. The Norwegian kits are very girly coded, but I love them. I love their kits. So she was there. It was great to see. I don't know if this person's going to go because of things, but she goes, I don't care. I'm going to support my wife. So.
She's better than I.
Yeah, I don't know if I would if I don't want to be around. But if she goes to the Norway games, that doesn't mean she's going to run into the management of Spain. Yeah, I'm sure she's still friends with the Spanish girls. A lot of them play on Barcelona with her, but she's not going to run into the federation and the management of walking down Bern, Switzerland. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that is our last couple. I think that's our last couple we're going to talk about because we're going to do another video. A few English girls we didn't talk about. I just didn't want to make this video too long, but these are a couple of teams that maybe are going to get grouped / I don't know how long Norway's going to last. What does everyone think? Questions, comments down below. Do you guys want a longer video on Ruth and Kerstin. Love them. Love everyone. Love. And I think there was a launch of one of the Portuguese players who plays for Barcelona. I'm gonna look into that. What does everyone think? Questions, comments down below, and we will be back with a full recap of the groups probably on Monday or Tuesday.
And should I ask you guys like shorter videos or longer videos?
No, long.
Thanks for watching.
We'll talk to everyone later. Have a great night. Bye.
Bye.